Yeah. So damn, what time is it? 3:37. Okay. So it's 3:37 a.m. I'm recording this live for my YouTube channel. So anybody that thinks this is a regular live stream, this is not. This is actually going to be on the Bullis Gotti Show 2.0. I think I'm going to release this at 5 a.m. I've been working, doing content. So the conversation piece is FBA, my opinion on the whole movement, and my criticism on it, and how I think that the whole FBA movement has become a hustle and a scheme, a get-rich scheme for Tariq Nasheed. Now, I've been a Tariq Nasheed supporter since the days of, Blog Talk Radio, when he talked about the automatic and his K-Flex days going into Tariq Elite to Tariq Nasheed. That's how I feel, right? So, that's how everybody feels, Tariq Nasheed, is real fit. Is a hustler. No matter how way you look at it, Tariq is a hustler. He gonna get a bag. But when it comes to reparations, when it comes to our human rights, you can't play with that shit. You know what I'm saying? When I look at people like John Conyers Jr., Johnny Cochran, God bless the dead, Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, these was brothers that was talking about us getting our human rights, even all the way back to Noble Drew Ali. Brothers talking about getting our human rights. You know what I mean? Because America owes us that. You know what I mean? The strength of... Hold on real quick. I'll be right back. Yeah. So, they owe us our human rights. You can't steal a country from a group of people, and who was indigenous, steal land from them, and basically put them in a concentration camp after you take they reservation from them, right? Now, mind you, ADOS movement started with Yvette Carnell, Tone, right? They started the whole ADOS movement, right? The ADOS movement happened, Africans descended slavery, the whole movement, right? They started that 2019, right? It took off. It did its thing. Boyce Watkins was promoting it, because Yvette Carnell used to be on his platform, right? Tariq wasn't even on the reparations thing. He was so busy on and involving himself into, hitting colors. It was all about hitting colors. It was all about, speaking about that. So after the hitting colors, after he did the last hitting colors, and then he did the 1804, the joint about the Haitian Revolution, he started, going at Yvette Carnell and Tone about the whole ADOS movement. So they beefing back and forth about the whole movement. So from that, it led to the whole discussion of FBA, Foundational Black Americans. Now, like I said, I don't have a problem with the Foundational Black American movement. But my problem is with a lot of these movements is that I always feel, this is my opinion on a lot of things, is that where were you dudes at when John Conyers was on the front line pushing for reparations? You know what I'm saying? Because John Conyers was pushing for reparations. Every president that's been in office, he has brought his bill to them. I don't care if it was George Herbert Walker Bush. I don't care if it was, even back to when Reagan was in office, they was pushing for this. But I don't care if it's, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama. John Conyers was on the front line pushing for reparations to be passed and for us to have our human rights, But nobody backed him. Nobody supported him. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these people that's coming out now talking about reparations, where was y'all at, in the 2000s when John Conyers and Johnny Cochran and brothers like that was pushing for that in the 2000s, in the 90s, in the 80s, these is brothers that, had boots on the ground when it come to that. Everybody else, they late to the party. And it's not, and to me, they not on the front line pushing it like how they supposed to push it, because at the end of the day, we shouldn't be talking about reparations. We should be talking about human rights, because America owes us human rights. Our human rights have been violated. So at the end of the day, I'm not looking for reparations for $250,000, because that $250,000 trickle down to $250. So really and truly, that ain't no money. What we need to talk about is, let's get to this trillions of dollars that they owe us. Let's get our human rights, like, the people that got it before us. Look how much money Germany paid out. The UN paid for the victims. So why is it that when it come to us, we not pushing for that? We not pushing for us getting our human rights. We're not pushing for the trillions of dollars that is owed, and plus the tax-free cuts. All we've been hearing is a bunch of talk. All we've been hearing is a bunch of brothers talking about they not supporting this, they not supporting that, but you got brothers talking about they want to be Republicans and Democrats. This don't got nothing to do with politics. You know what I'm saying? Reparations, human rights don't got nothing to do with politics. Because if the politician is denying our policies, then we shouldn't support neither one. You know what I'm saying? Because Trump said he's not even for reparations. You know what I'm saying? He don't even want to hear nothing about none of that. You got, everything that's been said during the thing, nobody putting the feet to the fire. Everybody just talking, and they ain't doing no footwork or no groundwork. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, when it came to people like Dr. King that spoke about it, the last speech that he did just a little bit before he passed away in like 67, 68, where he talked about the grants that was basically, given to people that wasn't us. The grants that colleges and certain melanated people that was deserving of these things. So when you got people like Tariq, and you got people like that whole FBA movement, they be talking, but all I've been hearing is talk. I've never seen the FBA movement put the groundwork in. See, what I respect about John Conyers, for example, is that he put the groundwork in so much. You know what I'm saying? That's how you know John Conyers put so much work in, that they had to lie and put a Me Too case on that man and made him resign and be disgraced out of office, for him A man that was on the front line pushing for reparations. You can go back and look at any video they have that produced, that's online, that'll show you he was speaking about reparations when no Tariq, no none of these people was talking about that. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when I hear a lot of people talk about reparations and I hear them having this conversation, like we fall beyond reparations. We talking about human rights. We talking about them owing us for not only for, slavery, but for them stealing our land, for them basically, denying us of good education, denying us of housing, the Tuskegee experiment, and many other things that they have done. You know what I'm saying? That's what we basically is on. And that's what I'm on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not on, oh, they just give us a $250,000 and I'm just going to accept that. No, you owe us more than $250,000. You know what I'm saying? We deserve more than that. Just off of the strength of what we've done in this country, we are old. We are old. A debt is old. And that's why, like I said, man, when you had people like John Conyers that was putting the groundwork in, you know what I'm saying? That was a politician that was for his people. He wasn't talking just to be talking. He was about what was old and what was needed. You know what I'm saying? And before he passed away, he kept pushing for HR 40. Okay? He kept pushing for HR 40. And during the Obama administration, he kept bringing it to Obama and was pushing and pushing and pushing for him to pass HR 40. You know what I'm saying? HR 40 should have been passed. But like I said, a lot of these dudes be talking, but where has these dudes been at? And why haven't they spoke about HR 40? I don't go with the people coming out late to the party talking about reparations. I just don't respect that. I don't respect grifters. I don't respect frauds. That's just like I had my opinion about Candace Owens. I just don't respect frauds, man. I don't respect people that they get a platform and 1 minute they want to talk about empowerment of their people, but they charging their people. You know what I'm saying? If you really for your people, you wouldn't be charging your people an arm and a leg for an interview. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be doing interviews with Vlad TV. You wouldn't be, doing business with people that you say is against your people. You know what I'm saying? So when dudes talk about, well, I'm FBA, I asked them again, was you a supporter of HR 40 when John Conyers brought that bill? That bill failed to get passed for years. He brought that to the House. Okay? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these same people that talk about, we pro reparations, we pro this, we pro that, but they haven't showed and proved that they was pro for reparations. Because like I said, when Dr. King spoke about reparations in 1968 before he passed away, he was murdered, right? When Malcolm X talked about reparations and talking about going to the UN and getting how much we was owed, he was murdered, right? When John Conyers kept pushing for reparations, he was basically told to resign, step down. They disgraced him. Hey, he was doing women. He was doing things to women and all type of things, man. Basically, to destroy what this man was doing. A man that was standing up for his people. A man that kept pushing for HR 40 for years. And that's why I said when I hear people like Tariq, I've never seen you lobby for HR 40. I never seen you talked about HR 40. I've never seen Tariq. I never seen none of these people. All I've been hearing is online Florida. Dudes debating and talking about this one and that one. I don't want to hear the debates. I don't want to hear the internet debates. I don't want to hear who's FBA, who's ADOs. I don't want to hear that. I want to see the action of, let's get to the real nitty gritty. Let's put that paperwork in and get that HR 40 passed. Let's go to the UN and get that human rights that is owed to us. That's what I want to see. I don't want to hear no more talking. It's been enough of the talking from these dudes, because a lot of them is grifters and a lot of them is hustlers. Okay, you got to remember, Tariq hustled in every facet of everything that's been since he's been on the scene. He was the pimp. He wanted to be the rapper. He was the Pan-Africanist. Now he's the reparation. Now he's the reparation expert of FBA and all this. But I keep continuing to say, where was these men at when Johnny Cochran and John Conyers was talking about our human rights and what was owed to us? I'm tired of all these people that's late to the party talking about reparations, because that's not the conversation no more. Reparations is not the conversation no more. Okay? That's not the conversation no more. When Johnny Cochran died, right, in 2005, he was going to sue the government and he was going to the UN fighting for reparations. Now, that's somebody that I call he put his money where his mouth is. You know what I'm saying? That this man was getting ready to basically sue the government to repair the economics in our community. I've never heard none of these dudes talk about they going to sue the government. I've never heard any of these dudes say we going to the UN like Malcolm X and Dr. King and all these brothers were saying. I've never saw them wrote a bill or lobby for a bill to get passed. I've never seen them do that. I've continued to hear these brothers. I continue to hear these brothers continuously say this about 1 minute they talking about they pro reparations, and it's a bunch of confusing talk, man. Bunch of confusing talk. There's a bunch of dudes trying to sell merch, trying to sell tickets to seminars, trying to, sell T-shirts, trying to sell, flags, but they not trying to go out there and sue the goddamn government. They not trying to go out there and go to the UN and say, we are owed human rights. All I've been hearing is a bunch of debate about who started hip hop, corny shit like that. It's a debate about they ain't African American and all this. Because at the end of the day, black is considered a curse. African American is a fairly new title. Okay? We was Afro American, we was Negro. All these titles was considered new titles. You know what I'm saying? That's not who we are. We are indigenous, Moorish people. Okay? You can go back to the history books and look. The people from the Carolinas have the ancestry of which my family comes from, South Carolina. They have the ancestry of the Seminole Indians, Cherokee, Choctaw, whatever you want to say, and the Moorish ancestry, because the Moors came to the Carolinas. So they have a Moorish bloodline and they have a Native American bloodline, right? And then you go to where my grandfather comes from, Tennessee, by the way of Mississippi, Hernando County, Mississippi. You know, that's where he's from. My great grandfather's from Hernando County, Mississippi. His mother, by way of Louisiana, you know, came to Hernando County, Mississippi. And with my great-grandfather, my great-grandmother, they went to Memphis, Tennessee, where my grandfather was conceived. But if you know the history of the people from Louisiana, they have the ancestry of Creole, Native people, Native American people. And they have the bloodline of the Haitian, because if you remember, the Haitians was there in Louisiana. So a lot of them have a bloodline and a tapped in of the Haitian, and they have the bloodline of the Creole Native American. You know what I'm saying? So this is what I keep trying to tell people. When we know our history, we know we have indigenous blood, right? We don't go by the whole thing of we just African American and all this other nonsense, because Africa is, and I'm going to be honest with y'all, Africa is named after Leo Africanus, so I don't even go by the whole Africa thing. You know what I'm saying? When you break down the history of these places, you got to break it down. So when we talking about, you know, we're talking about, listen, we want our human rights. That's all we asking. And like I said, when John Conyers and Johnny Cochran, you know, after Dr. King was murdered and Malcolm X was murdered, you know, there was no more talks about reparations until Johnny Cochran and John Conyers brought the conversation back up and continued to bring the conversation up. You know, Johnny Cochran died fighting for reparations. You know what I'm saying? This man was getting ready to sue the government because he was like, these people owe us. You know, we're here to repair the economy of our community. You know what I'm saying? So with him dying the way he died, which is very, you know, people could say, you know, oh, that's conspiracy, but a lot of people feel that he was murdered. You know, they just couldn't understand how somebody like him died the way he died. And that's what triggers a lot of people when they have those conversations. They're getting ready to do something that would have been monumental in the country. It would have collapsed the American economy because how much that they owed us, you know? So when brothers start talking like that, I stand for that. But when you brothers start talking this, y'all, like, I couldn't understand some of these dudes, man. Like, y'all just a bunch of broken dudes, man. Y'all didn't put none of these politicians' feet to the fire when it came to our policies. Y'all sat there and allowed these politicians to tell y'all we not focusing on no reparations and we not giving it. And y'all still talking about, some of y'all FBA talking about, oh, I voted for Trump. I supported Trump. Like, I don't get that. Because this man didn't say once that he was going to give y'all reparations. He didn't say once he going to give us reparations. He didn't say he supported. He ain't saying these people is old. Y'all over here talking about y'all Americans and all this, and they not even respecting the fact that we one was old. So y'all really not about y'all people. Y'all not about being melanated black men and women. The quote unquote black and African American, because I don't go with black and I don't go with African American. I always say, yo, I'm indigenous. For us being the indigenous people here, we over here talking like a bunch of broken dudes and women. And y'all got these dudes cosplaying like they for their people. You know what I'm saying? I watched Tariq. This dude saying he for his people, but you scamming your people. You know, FBA is just to sell merch. You know what I'm saying? It's not about, yo, we gonna sue the country, you know, until they basically, you know, make our people, do our people right and do right by our people, we suing them. You don't hear them saying that. You just seeing them going with the flow. You got one side, they liberal. Another side is conservative. Salute, bro. And it loses me, man. Because like I said, man, when it's about reparations and it's about us getting what's owed to us, I'm not on no side of no politician. If they ain't speaking what I want to hear, I'm not on the side of no politician, bro. I'm not on the side of none of that. Because human rights is old. And if human rights is owed to our people, we shouldn't be on the side of none of these people. Because they ain't on the side of what we talking about. You know what I'm saying? That's what loses me. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said, man, when you look at people like John Conyers and Johnny Cochran, these brothers stood for something until they last breath. Dr. King stood for something. If you listen to his last speech when he talked about reparations, he stood for something, B. None of these cats are standing for something. They standing for a check. I don't respect that. You know what I'm saying? I can't hear somebody talk about they FBA and they this and that, but you sitting up on a white man platform having dialogue about stuff that they don't even support. I can't get that. You sitting up on Vlad TV and no jumper, but you not sitting up on your brothers and sisters platforms and giving them a free. If it's a black-owned platform, anybody that talk about they FBA or anything like that, bro, you should be that automatically off the rip. That just your people. You shouldn't charge them. That's why I can't respect none of these brothers when they talk this pro-black and they black first or they FBA or they ADOS, but you charging people an arm and a leg to bring you on their platform. You charging them $1,000, $10,000. Where they do that at? You not trying to build with your brothers? You really trying to get a bag out your brothers? You know what I'm saying? That's why I respect the elders, man. Money, you know, this is why we look at people like Malcolm, look at people like Martin. Yo, those was real leaders, man. Because they didn't care about the money. They lived in poverty. They'd rather, yo, listen, Martin Luther King told his wife, man, when she wanted to get a nice house in Montgomery, Alabama, bro, that man told his wife, nah, nice house, but I don't want it. He'd rather live with the people and live in poverty than live like a middle class, upper middle class black preacher. Malcolm X, same thing. You know, real recognize real, bro. You rather live amongst your people or you rather, you know, feed this facade because you're not for the struggle. You know, and a lot of these dudes ain't for the struggle. You can just look. They all about the money. They wearing chains. They driving foreign cars. You know, they all about the money. You know what I'm saying? They charge you an arm and a leg. You got to donate for their documentaries, for their books. And I'm saying to myself, y'all dudes done ate off for the community so much. Y'all can at least get back. I don't respect these dudes. That was my thing with Tariq when he was building his museum. I said, yo, bro, you really asking the people to go out their pocket for your museum, bro. You done made a lot of money off of hitting colors, brother. Why is you asking people to give you money for your museum, bro? I can't respect that type shit, man. I can't respect that. Because that's the people, man. We can't allow people to exploit us. It's bad enough they exploit us. But when our own people exploit us, that's a problem, man. You know what I'm saying? Because you out here sending mixed signals and mixed messages. You know? You know? Sending mixed messages. You know? Sending mixed messages and mixed signals. You know, because if you really for your people and you really about your people and it's really about, you know, black power and black empowerment, bro, you wouldn't be trying to get going and try to take from the people, bro. Try to take from the people. The people, you know, is every day by day, is going through, you know, the struggles of the world, the ills of the world, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. Like, when it comes to FBA, bro, I cannot respect the movement, bro. Because it's not about brothers and sisters, you know, empowering to have something that's going to be tangible. You know what I'm saying? It's just been a lot of talk. It's a bunch of debating on Clubhouse, on Twitter, on Instagram, on Facebook, on YouTube. But it hasn't been anything to show and prove that these brothers and sisters, and just Tariq in general, man, that we really gonna be, you know, going and getting bills passed, bro. You know, I just can't respect that, bro. You know what I'm saying? And dudes just show time and time again, man, that they nothing but scam artists. That is nothing more than a scam job. You know what I'm saying? Because all this, we separating black Americans, black immigrants, like all that. I don't get, like, even with the black talking points. Like, what are y'all dudes talking about? Black? We not black. A lot of us is dark brown, you know, light brown. Everybody got brown skin. What the fuck is they talking about? We black. Black is a hair color, hair texture. So we sending the wrong messages right there when we say we black. That's the wrong message being sent right there. That's the wrong message being sent right there when we say we black. Because we all know that we indigenous people that is Moorish, that have Moorish ancestry. And if people know the history of the Moors, they know that, especially when my people come from in the Carolinas, there was nothing but indigenous and Moorish people that was in the Carolinas. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't go with none of that black and all that. Dudes was in concentration camps, got kidnapped, held hostage, and was prisoners. Okay? Prisoners. This is why in America that they could still call us 3/5 human and treat us the way they do, because we continue to keep calling ourselves black. If we take the black out of our vocabulary and we say who we truly are, indigenous people, we'll get better results. But all this arguing about who started hip hop, just corny, bro. The arguments be corny, bro. Like, it don't got nothing to do with what we really need to be on. You know, we need to be talking about black economics. You know what I'm saying? Building the economic system, suing the government for denying our people of business loans. Okay? These are things that they should be talking about. Dudes talking about hip hop, who this and that, and nonsense, bro. You know what I'm saying? But but that's what happens when you have, you know, people that aren't true leaders, bro. You gotta remember, Tariq was a comedian, a rapper, a pimp. You know what I'm saying? And then he was a pro-African, Pan-African. So you can't go from being a Pan-African to this and that. I can't respect that. You know, that's why I couldn't respect B1. I couldn't respect Black First because none of them brothers was speaking no real. Because it was a bunch of talking and a bunch of debating, but it wasn't a bunch of, you know, let's handle our business and get these policies pushed. Let's go out here and make a statement and do what the elders tried to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I said earlier, John Conyers put HR 40, and I don't hear none of these brothers talking about HR 40. When John Conyers was bringing HR 40 up multiple times, nobody said anything about HR 40. None of these brothers that come on YouTube that say, oh, they reparations, but they ain't talk about HR 40. You know what I'm saying? See, if you really about reparations, your conversation would have been, yo, we need to follow, you know, the playbook of John Conyers, bro. Because that man was about so-called black leaders. Bro, they don't give a damn about no damn reparations or us getting human rights. They ain't put the groundwork in. John Conyers Jr. put the groundwork in. He sat there and continued to put the groundwork in. You know what I'm saying? I sat there and watched him, you know, before he, you know, they you know, basically disgraced him and got him out of office. This man was putting the groundwork in. Everybody else is still just talking. You know, they still just talking. They still want to be a part of this system. They want to debate about Republicans and Democrats, but they ain't debating about the economics in our community. You know? So that's like I said, man, like when you look at that, the whole policy, it's like it just went over a lot of people's head, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's why when you got the media and people coming on the media and just saying anything, you know, what do you expect? What do you expect when you got people like them talk? Yeah, so it's like, you know, people can't keep messing up. But yeah, like I was saying, bro, like when you look at the whole HR 40 bill, and then you look at the bill that Johnny Cochran had pitched for the lawsuit to the government, and then him going to the UN to try to get the human rights passed, you know, these are things that go over people's head, man. You know, all these people talk about is they for reparations, they for they people getting, you know, they just do. But nobody been putting the groundwork in. All I've been hearing is talk. All I've been hearing is a bunch of dudes debating online. They've been debating online and they ain't been doing nothing. I'm like, damn, like how Tariq and all these dudes, Lord Jamal and all these dudes, they just debating and ain't nobody talking about passing nothing, lobbying, trying to get a coalition together. Everybody just talking. Everybody just talking. But when they was doing these reparation forms 13 years ago, 15 years ago, 20, 30, 40 years ago, when they was having these conversations, where were y'all at? Because I think a lot of these dudes is frauds. Because these conversations been going on about reparations. And like I said, the main components that had those conversations was Minister Louis Farrakhan, John Conyers Jr., Johnny Cochran, who's now dead and gone. These are the people and many others that was with them having those type of conversations. You know what I'm saying? I didn't see Tariq. I didn't see Lord Jamal and them in those conversations about reparations back then. All of a sudden, everybody want to talk about that now because they like, oh yeah, we're going to get a bag. Like we got a bag out of the people in the conscious community. We're going to get a bag out of them with this FBA talk. We're going to sell merch. We just only doing this to sell merch. We doing this to sell these flags and do these seminars and these little joints, and we're going to get the money off of that. And then after we get enough money, we're going to fall back from that and we're going to switch the hustle up. See, I don't respect that. Because when you say you for your people and you say you pushing for us to get what's owed to us, then you have to go all in. It ain't no half-assing. But when you got people that say they for the cause, say they for the people, you got to understand this too. That's just the play to get a check. Anybody that knows, these dudes came from the conscious community. Tariq came from the conscious community. He been in that community for years, decades. You know what I'm saying? So for him doing things like hitting colors, his focus was to get a check back then. So now it's not about snatching them checks no more and snatching them bags. It's on some, yeah, we gonna sell merch and we gonna debate about it. And then when we do enough debating, we just gonna switch it up. Like I watched Tariq from like when Hitting Colors first came out to now. It's like, hold up. 2011 Tariq was about hitting colors, was on some Pan-African stuff, was Dashiki'd out, Unk Peace out. You know what I'm saying? This dude here is, I don't know what this dude is. He wears the suit and all that, and talking a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? And when you see dudes doing all that, they shape-shifting like that, that ain't good. You know what I'm saying? I used to give these dudes the benefit of the doubt, but you can't give them the benefit of the doubt. Because you got to remember, once a hustler, always a hustler. Any dude that tells you out their mouth that they was a hustler and they was pimping, a pimp is going to be a pimp no matter what. He going to be a pimp pimping his community. He going to be a pimp pimping his woman. He going to be a pimp doing anything. A pimp is a pimp. Tariq is a pimp. So he pimps black people with no problem. And no matter, he going to get $1. So if he pimping and saying, you know what, we pushing Hitting Colors, we gonna push Hitting Colors. We pushing Mike Check. We gonna push Mike Check. All he doing is pimping. He don't give a fuck. Because Tariq would have been frontline trying to get laws passed if he gave a fuck. You know what I'm saying? I just cannot respect brothers like that, man. I'm not about one thing about me, man. I'm not about the talking, man. I'm about the action, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you saying it's about reparations, then we gonna be about reparations, but we also gonna be about this human rights. We gonna push that. We gonna tell the people about that and how important that is, because that is important. It's a check in that. It's $1 trillion check that is owed to us. That's what we should be pushing. All this, yeah, we pushing reparations, but then you out here talking some other nonsense. You know what I'm saying? I just don't one thing about me, I just don't understand these dudes. Like, I don't understand these dudes' logic. I don't understand these dudes' logic. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody say they conscious. That's what I tell people all the time. Everybody could say they conscious. Everybody could say they about their people. But here's the thing. If you about your people, and if you is conscious, then promote your consciousness by doing things that's conscious. You know what I'm saying? Like I just told you, you know, John Conyers got disgraced. This man was pushing for reparations that them people got tired of him pushing for reparations, that they had some random woman come out there and say, oh, he me too me. You know what I'm saying? This man was pushing for us to get HR 40 passed. You know? Had a whole reparations panel. I've never seen FBA do a panel or a forum what they was doing. Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And they was doing these reparation slavery panels for years, for decades. For decades. Roy Brooks, you know what I'm saying? John Conyers, just all of them. Professor Sir Hilary Beckless. These is people that was, you know, a part of this whole movement and was speaking about this. But we didn't see the Tariqs and none of these people that's talking about they for this now in 2024. They now talking about reparations. But Dr. Roy Daniels was talking about that. John Conyers and Minister Louis Farrakhan was talking about that for years and years and years. And we saw Tariq or Lord Jamon, none of these dudes, none of these dudes that talk in this reparation, we saw none of y'all champion for reparations like how John Conyers. Y'all don't even honor John Conyers, man. Or Johnny Cochran and talk about how they was in the front line pushing for that. You know what I'm saying? All I be hearing is FBA, ADOS. Y'all got some gang, y'all on some gang type of time, and we ain't on that. If it's about reparations, let it be about reparations. But if it's about the bag, and it ain't about our human rights, and it's just about selling merch, and it's just about selling a flag, then it's a scam. FBA is a scam. It's not a movement for the people. And I have a problem with that. And I'm not hating on nobody hustle, but I'm just saying, FBA is becoming a hustle to our people. It's not becoming a thing for our people to get what's owed to them. You know? It's a hustle. That's all it is. Just like I said, when you had people like, when you had these people talking about they for their people, they for the cause, they pushing for reparations, this, reparations, that. Okay, if you pushing for reparations, you pushing for all of that, then show us. Don't tell us, show us. Where's the forms at? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, they've been pushing for HR 40 in the House of Representatives since John Conyers was in the House of Representatives. You know how long that is? And until he passed away. So he been pushing for HR 40 from back then. Okay? Y'all not trying to employ the dollar or you know, put a halt to the economy. You know? You know what I'm saying? These brothers was talking about trillions. These brothers was talking about, let's sue the government. They went to that. You know what I'm saying? They talking about we is old and our taxes, we deserve to get paid and get tax-free exemption. These are things that they was pushing for. You know? So when Johnny Cochran said, yo, we got to repair, we got the economy, we got to repair the economy here in the basically in the U.S. You know what I'm saying? And when he said that, he passed away right after that. You know, because he was getting ready to sue for our reparations. Just like a lot of these dudes should be doing. But a lot of these dudes don't have the mindset because they not going to take it that level. Because they ain't willing to sacrifice. They ain't willing to stand up. You know what I'm saying? So when Charles Ogletree and all these brothers was talking about reparations is needed and all that, where were y'all dudes at? Where was y'all dudes at? Where was Tariq and all these dudes at when these brothers was speaking about that? That's the thing that always lose me with a lot of these dudes. Because they ain't been fighting. They just been talking. And when you ain't fighting and you just talking, it always falls on deaf ears. You know? This man was talking about before he passed away to sue for slavery, reparations. You know? And then you got dudes that's saying, no, we ain't doing reparations. And y'all dudes got the nerve to say y'all supporting this one and that one, and y'all ain't calling these people out. Like, if y'all not putting our reparations first, that we ain't rocking with none of y'all. And the sad part is, you know, dudes don't stand on they tens, bro. You know, I'm not taking no $250,000, and my people is owed trillions of dollars. I can't go for that. No can do. You know? So that's why when I hear dudes like Tariq talk, if he ain't on that type of timing, ain't nothing here to needed to be said. It's what it is. So I'm just keeping it real. You know, when it comes to reparations, and it comes to that conversation, and it comes to this FBA conversation, it's a whole lot of cap. It's a whole lot of talk. It ain't a whole lot of nothing. If you ain't working with people like Ron Daniels or Ogletree and them brothers that was, you know, we ain't trying to hear what y'all talking about. Because when they was doing them forums about reparations, these cats was nowhere to be found. You know? They wasn't talking about no HR 40. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's deserved. Like, if your people was in slavery, you deserve to get owed human rights reparations. That shouldn't be an argument. You know what I'm saying? But the argument should never be the pointless BS that people talk about. You know? But hey, it is what it is. You know, I just had to say this, man, that, you know, Tariq is full of BS, man. He full of shit. You arguing and fighting online. But brother, you ain't talked about the debt that's owed, man. You ain't tell these people that, yo, it's a debt y'all owe government. It's a debt y'all owe UN. John Conyers talked about a debt that was owed to our people. And he stood on that. He stood on that. He stood on that. He stood on that HR 40. Nobody else had anything to say. So when everybody else talk about they FBA this, FBA that, and they this and that, but they ain't standing on nothing. They standing on, let's get a check for this merch. Like I said, let's sell them t-shirts. Let's sell these tickets for these seminars. Let's, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't even call them, what you call it, lectures. They is seminars, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just call it what it is. And the truth of the matter is, that's what it is. It's seminars. You know, because y'all getting a check. Y'all getting a check to do that. You know what I'm saying? Your check tells y'all, you know, that y'all owe this certain amount of money when y'all come into the city. And y'all want to get paid. You know what I'm saying? But y'all go, you know, sit on Vlad and y'all get, like Tariq, you getting a little bit of money. I don't respect that. I don't even think he getting a little bit of money. You know what I'm saying? When you got people, you got Trump talking about the DIE and talking about, you know, they not going to give us anything. You know what I'm saying? And we've been deserving of this. So what's the sense of, you know, of supporting, you know, any politician when our policies is not being respected? You know, so it is what it is, man. You know, these people gonna do what they gonna do, and people just gonna be a sellout. You know, cause it's about a check. It's about a check. You know what I'm saying? The days of our people standing for something, They don't stand for anything but the money. That's why they can, you know, catch a bag. You got brothers catching a Democrat, Republican bag, but they ain't trying to go and stand for what's right. Call out what's right. You know what I'm saying? The hell with worrying about what's going on with this immigration and all that when we gotta when we know that the government is putting a lot of these people in power. You know what I'm saying? You know, so I just feel like at the end of the day, man, you know, if you ain't do the Johnny Cochran, you know, putting a lawsuit out there on the government or try to take it to, you know, the UN, the world stage, or you put a bill, you lobby for a bill like HR 40 that John Conyers did, but ain't getting no support or no backing because people is too scared to stand up for what's right. Everybody talk the talk, but when it's time to put the money where their mouth is and pass these laws and do things like that, these dudes is quiet and they ain't even backing it. So, it is what it is, man. You already know what it is. Your boy Bullet Scotty, man. Salute.